you know, that's a bluesy down in the Delta type of song. I mean, it's a foot, I can't help but tap my foot to that. But when we play that live with the drums, it's bombastic and people are boom, boom. So we have both sides of it. And I mean, just for myself, when I come off stage, I am soaking wet. I mean, I literally could jump into a pool and be drier than I do when I get off a stage. And my knees are busted up. These are brand new pants. They're all ripped to shreds. And
His
my
mic
elbows,
stand is like busted. So many
busted
mic
another
stands.
mic stand at the House of
It's
Blues. And at the first song, I didn't even do anything.
It's
and
metal
it's
flying everywhere with this guy.
He keeps fixing
love
it and
it.
he won't fix it anymore. So now, I guess I'm just gonna have to.
That's it.
I love it. So are you guys in the studio now working on a new album? What do you guys do now?
Well, we flip back and forth. We're fortunate. Jason have an in-house studio, so right now we're working in a new drummer. But of course, every other 4 days, he says, "I got this new song. You want to come and work on it?" So any day off we have, it's an impossibility, because if a day off we will write or we'll record and get the basics to it, like just the bed tracks of a song. We have enough for 2 albums. We haven't even put out 1 album. We put out 4 singles on CDs, like the one I gave you. We've got like 4 different versions of all different songs. And we sit there and go, when are we going to put out an album? I'm like going,
We don't have time. We did 25 shows in probably about 6 months.
Goodness.
You know, I mean, it's just, and you rehearse once a week or twice a week, and you do the show, and preparing for that is important, and we just don't have the time. When you're going to go do a CD like we want to do, we're going to have to take off probably about 3-4 months, and we love performing so much that that's what we're about right now.
So since you're the writer, where does all your creativity come from?
You know, it's
his son.
which I'd like to say, our David Portnoy is our lead guitarist, and he's just incredible. He's just, I don't even worry about it with him. He is so talented. You know, he's influenced by Jimmy Page and Slash, and he's just getting better and better and better every time we get together. But when I was a kid, I'd be like, and I remember I had this elementary school sweetheart, and I was walking home, and this song came into my head, and I noticed that things just come into my head, and I thought, oh, everybody does that, and it's just something that I've always done. I've been writing songs forever, and I like to write about contemporary things that are happening in my life, and I write about things that interest me, you know, and that's really what I love to do, is to get a long legal yellow pad, a pencil, it's got to be a pencil, not a pen, and an acoustic guitar, and write. I mean, I have this little Panasonic little cassette recorder. I don't know if you remember what those were like, and I hit record, and you know, never save any of the material because I keep recording over and over and over again.
Sure.
But you know, and if something comes out, you know, good, or that I think good, I send it to Mick, and then he gives me the thumbs up or thumbs down. I wrote one song once, and I sent it to him, and I didn't hear from him for 3 days, and I called him. I said, hey, what do you think of that song? He goes, I want you to do me a favor, because I want you to go rent a backhoe. And he goes, I want you to dig a 20-foot hole in your backyard, get a steel casket. He goes, bury that song underneath it.
That's funny.
And it turned out to be one of our best songs.
It really did.
So.
He came back. I couldn't believe it. That like 2 days later, he sends me it, and it's got the same title. And I'm going, you've got to be kidding me. He's sending this back to me? I mean, I really couldn't. It was like a 3-paragraph thing that I said, this is what I think of this song. And and he came back. It's the song on there, Living in the Now. It's one of my all-time favorite songs. But he just retooled it.
I was going to ask you, well, what made you change your mind about the song?
Because it's beautiful now.
Yeah. Oh,
it was goofy the first time.
And so then you had to like retweak and change some things. And
This is funny because the words didn't change. It was just, it is so weird. You can just, well, you know, like club mixes and stuff, it changes the whole flavor of the song. And, you know, people putting, you know, new beats in from old, you know, like classic R&B artists, and taking their riff and redoing it. And it just changes the whole feel of it. And that's what he did. He started off, I don't even remember, thank God, the first version of it, but
I have it if you want it. I'll
yeah,
send
well,
it to you.
thanks. You please.
Before we run out of time, can you guys give them your Facebook information and your Twitter information so they can find you?
Absolutely.
On
You
Facebook?
kids know Facebook. We're Jetset ReJects. We're there. Twitter. I don't have one, and Jason doesn't. But if you go to I Love Candy, Mick Scott, you'll probably
Facebook.
find that. Yeah.
On Facebook.
No, on Twitter. I'm just kidding. Don't even go. There's no such thing. I don't do Twitter.
Oh, okay.
But I do love candy.
Okay, well, one question before we go. And there's this myth that, rock and roll, worships the devil. Could you give us a little bit of, what's the difference between rock and roll and heavy metal?
There's no, it all comes down, this is the one thing I'll say, is make your own definitions on things. To me, what Jason considers heavy and what I consider heavy are two different things. What I consider mellow, I was one thing about music and art in general, find your own definition of it. As far as heavy metal and rock and roll, there's some people that say it's all the same, there's people that say completely different. How was that an answer? Was that an answer?
I heard a quote in a movie once that I'd like to say, is that creating music is like reading God's lips.
Reading music is like reading.
Amadeus. Mozart.
No,
Wolfgang.
Beethoven.
Oh, okay.
No, really?
Yeah,
What movie was Beethoven in?
copying Beethoven.
Copying Beethoven? Oh, I thought Beethoven like the big dog, St.
was Ed
Bernard.
Murray.
Did you see that movie? Big Beethoven? That was a good name for a St. Bernard.
Well, is there anything else that you would like our viewers to know before we?
I would like to say that you have been absolutely
You are our
wonderful.
doll, and your crew is awesome.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so
and
much.
I think you people need to support this show by
Yes.
watching it.
Exactly. And then go ahead and look for you guys on Facebook. And,
Absolutely.
Also, you guys can get Twitter so you can tweet your shows. You
Oh,
can get a lot of followers.
There's just not enough minutes in the day, you know?
Well, that's all we have for Street Therapy. I want to thank our special guests, the Jetset ReJects, and hopefully they'll be back on our show once and invite me and I can come out to their show.
Yes, yes.
Thank you
for
guys
sure.
so much.
Thank you
for
so
having
much.
me, guys. I really
There's nothing left to do. It's as plain as day, looking right through you. I'm just wasting time and don't know what to do. Well, it's a lonely night, there's not a lot to say. In the break of dawn,